Hi all, good morning. So today we'll be discussing about installation of Dynamics 365 Business Central Spring Release, which is also called as Business Central 14. So you can always get the product DVD from the Microsoft website, or if you want to look for the latest and greatest, or it's hard to figure it out where you can't find the product DVD, you can always visit my blog, and under the hotfix section I'll I keep on updating whenever there is a new release is available from Microsoft for all the supported version. So today we'll be talking about Business Central 14. So let's see what's the latest cumulative update. So once you reach to the cumulative update for the last month, which is available, you'll see that there are all the details that are available, which cumulative update it is, what is the build number, what is the platform build number and all, and there are links to go to the details section where you can see what Microsoft changed in cumulative update 12, and you can also get the download link. So we'll follow the download link. Once you click on that, it'll take you to the MSDN Microsoft site where you can download the product. Once you click download, the product is available. You'll find the product DVD for all the local versions which are released with this version, and also the worldwide version. So based on the country that you are in, or based on the localization that you work with, you can download the product. I'll be using North America version, and you can hit next and it'll start the download process. Just to save time, I have already downloaded that and I have placed it into a root drive on a folder called DVD. So this is what was downloaded from there. The next step is, when you open this drive, there are two files which I already extracted. These are the two files. The application contain the code changes which were done specific to CU12, and then the other file contains the whole product DVD, which I again extracted, which is here. So this contains the whole installer DVD installation media for Business Central 14, whatever version you download from there. I'll rename it to a shorter name, and the reason being that during installation, these files from the installation media get copied to your installed directory, whatever directory you are using. Let's say C drive, program files, Microsoft Dynamics Nav, Business Central, and then all these assemblies get copies into those folders. So if the path reaches to a certain limit which Windows can support, you get an error message that cannot install the product because the path is so long, and things like that. So you need to make sure that the base path or the root path of the product DVDs is smaller as much as you can. So I'll run the setup. You'll run it as administrator. Once you run it as administrator, you get a welcome screen. You click next and you get the license agreement, which you can read through, and once you have read it, you can accept that license. Then there are three options. Get a free online trial, which means that you can get a 30 or 90, I'm not sure, a 30 days trial on a SaaS tenant, which you can access and work with it with a work or a work related email address. Or you can get the app from the Microsoft Store, which means that you already have a server setup but you want to use a client on your tablet or on your mobile device, so you can get the app from Microsoft Store. Or the third one, which we will be talking about today, is advanced installation option, where we'll be installing Business Central on this computer or multiple computers. Once you choose that, you get two options. One is install demo and one is choose an installation option. Install demo installs the component which are defined into the XML file that comes with the Cronus DVD, which Microsoft thinks that you will need. So it defines what you need and what you don't, and based on that, the install demo works. But I want to choose the component that I need on my machine, so I'll go with the other option called choose an installation option. And once you choose that, there are different options that you get. do you want to install a client, which is in Business Central 14 case it's a Windows client, and the modern client, which is the web client. Or do you want to install the server, which installs the middle tier and the administration tool related managing services, so that component gets installed here. Or you want to install a typical developer environment, which will have certain things like AL development environment, SQL Server component, report development component. Or are you using a config file which you have already built for your installation? You can load that and system will read through it. So I'll choose developer, but I don't choose developer directly. If you focus, there is a customize inside all these three options. So I'll choose customize under developer so that I can choose what I want. So I need to have the AL development environment because I'll be coding in AL and that's required. So it installs the AL language extension for Visual Studio Code with this option. Server administration tool, it includes the Microsoft Management Console, which gives you a GUI to manage your services. Like you can change your properties, you can stop and start services, you can create multiple services. That Management Console, it comes with this option. The server actually creates that service, which you can access from the administration tool. So the component that you need to choose run all from my computer. That gets selected then. SQL Server database component, that includes your demo database that comes with the product DVD. If you already have a database, you can skip it. If you already have SQL set up, then you can skip it. As of now, I don't need Outlook edit. If I'll need it, I can repair the installation or add or remove component. And I'll need web server component because this will host the website or the web component using which my users will be able to access the modern client. I don't need help server because it also points to the MSDN page. I'm not doing a multi-computer installation, so I don't need click once installer tools right now. But yeah, I surely need Dynamics Nav client, which installs the Windows client. So I'll choose that. So once you have selected what you want, click next and then specify the parameters that you want for your installation, which is where you want to install the server, what you want service to be called, which user is set up for to run services, start and stop services. Then coming down, there are 4 ports, and this is where I'll take a pause. 5 ports. I'll take a pause and maybe explain it a little bit. So sometime or most of the time people get this error message and they reach out to people, they put questions on the forums that I cannot install it because it says that it cannot be installed. One of the main reason that people find when they do go deep into the problem that they are facing with the installation is most of the time it's because the ports that are specified here are already being used. Now any version of Dynamics Nav starting I guess 2009, from where the service tier started, Microsoft always suggests 7045, 46, 47 and 48 and 49 with Business Central versions of the product. So these are kind of default ports from Microsoft that comes as pre-configured, but you need to make sure that you change them if you already are using those ports. So I'm not using any other version of Dynamics Nav or Business Central on my machine, but just to simulate the scenario, let's assume that I'm using 7045. So what I'll do, and I try to keep it in sync, I try to keep it with the version. So I'll say 1445, which makes it easy for me to read what port it is belonging to. So all my Business Central 14 services will always start from 14. If I create a new service, I'll say 14 105, 205, 305 and things like that, and this is for my local environment, so I'll keep it as I want so that it makes my life easier. So I'll change all these ports and I'll not enable SOAP and OData because using MMC control I can always restart or start those services if I want. And then I'll add rules to firewall. So what I have changed is I have changed all the ports from 7 series to 14 series, to keep in sync with Business Central 14. Then the option is to choose the credential, what type of credential you want to use with the service. I'll keep it as standard as Windows. What is the SQL server that you are trying to point it out? If you don't have it, the product will install the express version, so no worries about it. If you have it, key in the server name or the instance name if you have an instance, and then the database name. I already have a database for some other purpose, so I'm setting it replace. If you don't have it, you don't need to change it. Coming down here, these base URLs I'll set up when I actually want to use it. The SOAP and OData, I can configure them on my service tier. Yes, I want to keep 8080, which is the default port for the website, and I want to install it. I'm not using health server, so I'll keep these settings empty and I'll hit apply, which will install my installation process. While this is happening, let's talk about the other big problem that I have read so many times about. Oh, I ran the installer, but it said that I cannot install web server component, or I cannot run this, and the installer failed. And there are reasons behind it. And to start with, before installing any software, you should always read the system requirement that you need for that software. In this case, Business Central 14. There are specific system requirements that need to meet while you're installing a software. So let's read it through what operating system, what kind of softwares we need on our computer to run Business Central, different components. As you have seen, we have chosen multiple components. So let's see one by one. So like for client component, if you are using the modern client, you need any of these browsers, which are mostly available in everybody's machine. Microsoft Edge is what I'm using right now, so I'm safe here, no worries. If I want to use Outlook business inbox feature, I need to have Microsoft Office of these versions, either 365, 2019 or 2016. So if you don't have it, you can't use those features which are associated with this software, like Outlook, in this case Outlook integration. If I want to use Excel, the Office versions remain same. If you have Excel or Word requirement for printing Word layouts, then the Office requirement remains same. Let's come down and let's see what if you want to use a tablet or a mobile app. For that, you need on your mobile or your tablet app, you need one of these operating system, which is Windows operating system, Android and iOS. And then there is a hardware requirement, which is a minimum hardware requirement that this document tells you. It is not telling you the suggested one, it's just telling you the minimum ones. And then what are the softwares you need. Let's talk about the commonly asked problems around, which one of them is what I need for the Windows client, in this case for Business Central 14. So you need to have a machine with Windows 10 Pro, Enterprise or Education. If you have any other variant of Windows 10, you will have error message during installation. So make sure that you have the right operating system. And for the server OS, these are the supported version, which is Windows Server 2019 and 2016 with these flavors. If you will be working on reports, then you need report builder, which if you don't have, it comes with the product. But if you want Visual Studio, then you need to get it installed as a separate. It doesn't come with the product. If you will be using Word layout, then you need Microsoft Office or Word 2016 or higher. In the same way, the other big question, and it has other requirement like .NET framework and things like that, which get installed if they are not, is people have problems with the server component to host the website. So if we come down here on the web server component, you'll see that it also have a suggested operating system that you need to have to install the web server component. Additionally, other than operating system, you need to have IIS, Internet Information Server, set up on your machine If it is not there, you can go ahead and add or remove it from the Windows feature in your control panel. So it's a Windows feature that in some machine, if it is not configured, you can enable it from the Windows feature. And then additional software or .NET framework, as we have seen, it gets installed automatically if it is not there. On the SQL Server, the operating system remains more or less same, or it's exactly same, I guess. But then in the SQL box, you need to have a SQL 2019, 17 or 16 or version installed with these flavors of Express, Standard or Enterprise. So if you have all these requirement mapped and written, and make sure that all these are available on your environment, then you'll not have more or less any problem during installation. I got one. I'll have to check what it is once the installer completes its process. Maybe I forgot to set that replace database yes, or this does not have permission to update my SQL Server database. So let's see when it completes. I get an event log, and we'll check that once it completes. So as you can see, the installation is failed with some error message and warnings. So didn't expected it, but it did fail. So let's see what we learn out of it. Click on this and it says that the service failed because to start, and there are multiple reasons for it, but at the same time the create database failed because of some related error. You can always open the installation log and see what error actually happened. And when we go here, we see that let's see, create database failed, some file are not listed, and I guess I understand the reason that it cannot create a database, and let's go through that step quickly. So it'll be time consuming, but you can always search for this article on Microsoft website called provisioning the Microsoft Dynamics NAV / I'll call it / Business Central account. And there are some certain settings that you need to set on the account that you want to start your services against. There can be two options: that you want to start your services by network service as we were doing, or you want a dedicated domain account to run your services for Business Central or NAV. So there are both ways. You want to provision a domain account, you can use it these steps, or otherwise you can provision the network service account like I'll be doing. So you can navigate to that page, and there are certain commands or certain steps that you need to take on SQL Server. Alternatively, you can run this command for to setting all these properties which were written above, and which will set all the properties for the account that you want to run your services from. So let me do that. I'll pause the video and then we'll repair the migration to see how it behaves. So I've done all those settings. Let me restart the setup.exe as administrator, and this time I'll just do a repair. So all my setting remains as it is, as they were earlier. All the configuration, all the ports, everything remains same. We'll just try to fix the problems that it faced last time, because I have done certain changes on the SQL Server by provisioning that account. So yeah, that was good that I had a fresh SQL Server installation for some other reasons, but with that we'll learn that how you actually provision your SQL Server account. So you can always bookmark these pages if you want. I'll also add it into the description of this video, that this is the link for provisioning the service account that you need for your installation, and then you can follow these steps on your actual environments. So let's give it some time and it should get repaired pretty soon. Let's see. So as you can see, it already passed the SQL Server changes, and I guess the only thing now it's working on is finalizing the service tier for Business Central 14. So it should be over any time now. So the repair process is on after taking those steps of provisioning. and it should be completing any minute now, so let's wait for a while. So as you can see, after the repair, the Business Central 14 has been successfully completed, the installation. Let's quickly look what got installed, which is the administration, the development environment, and the nav client. There are other things that you can see, which is administration cell, development cell, and all. Hope this video helped you. Stay connected. Put your suggestions on the comment. What kind of videos you like, what should I record about, what you want me to talk about, and I'll make sure that I add it into in my queue and make it available as soon as possible. So thank you, have a great day.